All right. The joys of being a medical sales rep. It's all good at all times, right? Wrong. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? It's Colby Wood with the MedSales vlog back. It's been a while, and part of that is, well, all of that obviously is intentional with the acquisition of the startup company. I really have been head down, focused on getting things up and rolling with the new company, getting the reps that they currently have up to speed, really just trying to focus heavily on pushing that product and getting some early victories, which we've been able to do, which is good. And so I figured I'd jump back on and start making some more of the videos. I actually think it helps me. I think it helps me because it's a certain level of accountability, even though there's nobody on the other side of this of my phone that I'm videoing this with. It ultimately is seen by a number of people, and so when I'm out grinding by myself, there's a certain level of accountability when I'm taking videos. So anyway, I think it actually is helpful. I just finished up a couple of shoulder scopes with a doc that has been using us for a while, and he actually he was telling me that he recommended this to one of his partners who I trialed with in the past, but it was prior to having our Gen 2 handpiece and having a smaller shaver. And so the guy liked the idea of it, liked the technology, but didn't like the quote-unquote bulkiness of the shaver. So now is a perfect opportunity to go back to him. We have those things, and it's been recommended to him by one of his partners who uses us and has used us for about 10 months, I want to say. So that's good. And we're now on contract with one of the big GPOs. And so this doc that I was with here at the surgery center also goes to a hospital right down the street. And not nearly as much. He tries to not go there as often as he can. He would way rather come to the surgery center, obviously. But he does do some cases at the hospital still. And so now that we're on contract, let him know today. He's like, yeah, talk to Julie is the name of the person. It's like, yeah, let's make it happen. I would like to use it over there. So all good things from that perspective. I, between cases, stopped at REI, which is right down the road. Picked up some Continental GP 5000, 700 by 25 C. Plan on using those for some bike racing that I'm going to be doing this summer. So also exciting. I looked over and saw that, and anybody that's not into bikes is not going to give two rats about these. But if you know bikes, these are supposedly best of the best, GP 5000. So anyway, I am running to get some food now. Quick bite to eat, and then coming back to the surgery center for another doc. He's got a shoulder scope at 12:30 in. Well, it's scheduled for like 20 minutes, but they were just starting to open up the room when I left. So I've got another, at least 30 minutes, probably a little bit more until they start. So we're gonna get some food. And when I'm done with this, then I've got some computer work, but I will check back in with you guys later. Yeah. All right, now I'm walking back in. Surgery center, third and last shoulder scope of the day. We'll finish this up, and then a lot of computer work when I am done here. All right. The joys of being a medical sales rep. It's all good at all times, right? Wrong. So I've got this shoulder scope that I just told you I was going to be walking into, and the doc apparently had a case. So there's pros and cons to selling products that are used by surgeons or can be used by surgeons when you're not in the room. Because like in theory, you don't have to stand there the whole time, babysitting them for every case. Okay. The downside of that is shit happens. And if you are not there to rectify it or provide education as to why something happened, you kind of get hosed. Obviously, I'm leading somewhere with that when I say it. This doc said he was doing a labral repair or trying to debride a portion of the labrum in the shoulder. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but you don't need to know the anatomy that well to get this. He's debriding some of that, and then all of a sudden, he's using our shaver. All of a sudden, like, he's missing a section of the rotator cuff. Like, the shaver chewed up the rotator cuff. Okay, well, for anybody that knows what's going on, one of two things happened. One, he jammed the shaver into the rotator cuff to chew it up. Or two, the suction on the device went way high and he didn't realize it. And then he starts using the device and it pulls more tissue into the mouth of the device than he was planning or expecting. Those are the only two explanations. Like when you're shaving, it's pretty straightforward. You're just managing the speed, the RPMs of the device, and the suction. And he's like, honestly, it just scared me. And I'm talking to him about it. I'm like, well, I think what happened is inadvertently, if you hand the device off to the scrub tech to switch instruments, they may accidentally bump the suction up way higher than what you had it at previously. And then, without knowing it, they hand it back to you and now it's way higher than you were expecting. Maybe there's an error like that. I was like, but we can lock out the suction on the console so you don't have to mess with it the whole time. He's like, I get it, but I'm still not convinced that's what caused it. Okay, this is not complicated. It's either user error from the fact that you are jamming the shaver into the rotator cuff inadvertently and shaving out the rotator cuff, or there's a inadvertently increasing the suction far beyond what you were expecting. So you put it closer to the tissue or buried it in the tissue more than you typically would, or at the same level you typically do, but it's pulling more tissue than you were expecting it to. Those are the only options that I can think of, and I have a pretty good idea what's going on. So anyway, he's like, I think I'm gonna have to reconsider. I don't know. He's like, the thing scares me. Like, okay, cool. So our devices can be too aggressive that it scares you. The percentage of surgeons that have said, can you make my shaver or my wand less aggressive, is very small. So that's annoying and frustrating. Then I'm walking out and I've got two of the scrub techs are in the lounge having lunch. And I was talking to them before and they're like, so he's not gonna use it? I'm like, no. And they start laughing and they're like, one of them, the guy's like, honestly, it's probably for the best, if you know what I'm saying. And they presume to, I don't think that's a word. They then gave their opinions on the quality of the surgeon and that maybe it's better that I don't have to be managing it. Just annoying. Like, yeah, okay, in theory, that's good. Ideally, you don't want to be working with and spending your time hanging out with surgeons that are not very good and, giving your product a bad name because they're not as technically sound or whatever, but we also have numbers to hit. And he doesn't do a ton of volume, but still, business is business, so. I don't know. That's MedSales. It is what it is, I guess. But there's, I think I said earlier, there's a good opportunity with another doc at that account, which he's a better doc and busier, so opportunity there, which is good. And I think we're going to have a shot with him. And then also at the hospital with a couple of docs that already use us. So net on the day, net, it's all good, but it just, You never want to lose business, and you never want to lose it when it's user error. All right, we're back. I am just a couple of minutes away from pulling into Panera. That is my new go-to spot to get some work done. They, during the pandemic, well, I guess kind of post-pandemic, were one of the few places that opened up early, so I could actually get some work done in the field. And then they also have by the way, $9 a month coffee subscription, unlimited coffee for $9 a month. Pretty killer, not gonna lie. So anyway, I'm headed in there. But I figured I'd share something a little bit interesting about my experience at Panera a couple of weeks back. I was I was obviously ordering, and there was this guy behind the counter. He was not taking my order. He was off to the side. Anyway, I gave him my phone number, for the rewards and whatnot. And she's like, I tell her the number, and the lady taking the order is like, Colby? I'm like, yeah. And then this guy to the side goes, Colby Wood? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, oh man, I've seen your YouTube videos. Guy's name is Jason. Anyway, I start talking to him, and he is in college. I don't know what year he is, but he's going to Western Michigan University. And he said that he was taking a course called Professional Selling at Western Michigan University. And the professor in the class was showing my videos when discussing medical sales in this professional selling course. So anyway, small world. That was pretty freaking sweet to hear that. And I guess kind of just gives me additional confidence, let's say, that what I'm doing is actually legit and effective, and people are finding value in it. And if they're going to be showing my stuff as at higher level education institutions, then that's a good thing. So anyway, I was excited about that just a certain level of validation of doing this kind of thing, and figured I'd share that with you. Anyway, I asked that guy. He hit me up on Instagram afterwards, and I asked him for the name of his professor, and so I connected with the professor directly. And so her and I have shared some LinkedIn messages back and forth, and a couple emails as well. But yeah, thought that was a cool anecdote to share. Anyway, I am about to pull in here and get some work done. I've got a bunch of computer work that I need to do before the end of the day. And yeah, talk to you guys later.